Victoria Andrews.
Should be set up on every 10 seconds.
This is not then.
Hopefully it will be. Thank you. I'd like to thank you for the opportunity of addressing my submission today, and I'd also like to acknowledge the hard work that I know all of you have put in over the past few years. It's not an easy task. The following slides illustrate aspects of the town from a resident's viewpoint, and the focus of my submission is the long-term well-being of the community and pressure points that impact the area. And hopefully these will flip over every 10 seconds. Akaroa is a community under pressure. The seawalls are 100 years old. They lack maintenance and are in a state of deterioration. Storms have become more frequent and the long-term impact is significant, as verified in the 2013 Tonkin and Taylor report. Plans were approved in 2012 to repair the seawall at Daly's Wharf next to a children's playground, but work has yet to commence. Storms have wreaked havoc with a footpath and seawall, but no one, to my knowledge, has bothered to check the further damage. After 4 requests for service, I finally put red cones into holes that opened up next to the seawall opposite Bully Hayes on Beach Road as a way of illustrating the potential hazard to visitors. I requested information so that I could understand the council's rationale of allocating $11 million to replace the main wharf, which is an integral part of Akaroa's historic area. I was sent 2 heritage assessments and 5 pages from a 2011 Opus International report. Neither Heritage New Zealand or the council's heritage team have been consulted on the matter. I have to question the wisdom of spending $11 million to replace the wharf without also taking into consideration the long-term impact of climate change. The money may be better spent protecting Beach Road, which is the only access road through the town. Protecting road access would at least allow time to consider options with regard to rising sea levels. Some who use the wharf have said the council has poured money into the structure and that it has never been in better condition, but others have told me that it needs maintenance. It would seem prudent to consult more widely prior to spending $11 million on the project. The Opus report outlined 7 recommendations, only one of which is the total replacement of the wharf. The management plan for marine structures says that cruise ships want an expansion of pontoons to accommodate more tenders, and that they also expect the council to cover the cost. This is a $37 billion enterprise. Why should ratepayers subsidize the highly profitable cruise ship industry by providing more pontoons? Tourism operators have said they want no more than 1 cruise ship a day, and many residents would prefer if they gave Akaroa a miss altogether, but few were willing to express such concerns in public. As an example, I've been told that if I didn't embrace cruise ships and freedom campers, that I would be barred from entering local businesses, so you can understand the reason residents are hesitant to say anything. 80 to 86 cruise ships visit Akaroa every year. Soon they will be carrying up to 5,000 passengers. Large and multiple ships per day overwhelm the town. We were told cruise ships were a temporary measure while Littleton port facilities were rebuilt, but now it seems council views them as being permanent. Council needs to consider the community well-being of the Garden City, inclusive of Banks Peninsula. There's more at stake here than the CBD rebuild. Ratepayers have been told community boards will be given more authority, but I wonder if this applies to Akaroa as well. I noted the following sentence in a community board agenda, quote, "The repair of the Post Office Service Center building has been put on hold while other options are being investigated regarding the integration of council facilities," end quote. The statement appears to have come from the Corporate Activities Management Plan, and the building has been shut since 2011, although it now is at 100% of national building standards. I discussed the matter with the community board through a series of submissions followed by a letter, and in return, I received correspondence from the council's senior solicitor claiming that I'd made serious allegations. I was asked to provide information so an assessment could be made simply because I'd failed to use the term, quote, "in my view," end quote, prior to making one observation. I decided to look into the $80,000 communication report commissioned by the previous council in 2013, which concluded there was a bunker mentality and internal silos within the organizational structure, and it appears that several may still exist. This council, however, has worked very hard to break down barriers, and I applaud the mayor's comment from the press in October 2013 that we don't want anyone to feel fear in this place for sharing ideas, and I support that. The community board was also exasperated by about the status of the post office building because they had not been informed that a decision to defer repairs had been made. In my view, the community board should be the starting point for any such discussion. The historic 1915 post office is the cornerstone of Akaroa CBD. If Akaroa is to remain viable and vibrant as a community, the building needs to be kept in public ownership and use. Moving service center staff into an existing facility would reduce the level of service, and this also applies to the information center, which currently operates in a small corner gift shop. Christchurch Canterbury Tourism should be supporting tourism and economic development through a public-private partnership in the information center. Providing a high level of service to visitors as well as ratepayers makes economic sense for a tourism hub like Akaroa. The service center and information center should be moved back in a fitted-out post office building in time to celebrate its 100th anniversary with a public opening and celebration.
When is that, 100th anniversary?
The building was constructed in 1914 and opened formally in 1915.
No.
And if I could just say I was really disappointed in the Akaroa Museum management plan that was posted, in that the museum director and the advisory committee were not consulted, and I hope that is remedied in the future. So I think I've had my 5 minutes. Thank you.
Okay. I'll just a couple of questions because we're, unfortunately, the time's challenging. Tim?
So we had a presentation earlier on from the Akaroa Tourism.
ADP.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just wondering, they're saying that the cruise ships are really important, and are you saying that they would be better off without them? I'm a bit confused.
You have different viewpoints. As a ratepayer, I understand there is some economic benefit, although I think it's hyped up to the point where it's being unrealistic. As somebody who lives in Akaroa 365 days out of the year, it impinges on our quality of life. Quite often you cannot get into the library because all the cruise ship passengers are using free Wi-Fi and computers. They ride on the free shuttle all day. They go back on board for lunch. There is some economic benefit, but I don't think it's what it's hyped up to be. A lot of people who come to Akaroa are on budget cruises. The small ships are great, 80 to 200 people. They appreciate where they are. They really don't impact the town. But when you see litter flowing through the streets and rubbish that's not picked up, if you're going to impose that on Akaroa, then the council has to do its bit.
But we could argue that those businesses that are successful with regards to getting tourism dollars should also do their bit.
That's fine with me.
But have you talked to any of the businesses because I mean assumptions should really be based on facts. I don't know.
I've actually been threatened by local businesses because they see me as being anti-cruise ships. I'm not anti-cruise ships. It's just there are too many of them.
It's the inundation on it. At one time, it's just
small.
Yeah.
Littleton needs to take the big ships back.
Absolutely, and we want Littleton to take the big ships back.
We don't need 30 to 40 tour buses a day making 4 round trips to Akaroa.
Yeah.
It's too much. It's too much.
I mean, and you are not alone in having that view. It's the inundation of people at one time, multiple cruise ships and large cruise ships, but there is no question that the smaller cruise ships They actually like the
That's
Akaroa
fine.
stop and
fine.
actually prefer it to the Littleton stop.
What Akaroa needs are visitors who will come for 2, 3, or 4 nights.
Yeah.
That money goes through the town. It benefits the community, it benefits the region. The cruise ships, all the money goes overseas.
Yeah.
Everything's pre-booked on board. It's not the economic boom that you think it is. Some shops do well, a lot of shops have closed.
Yeah. All right.
I have copies of my further submission if you'd like that.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
No, we'll take copies of that.
Yeah, thank you.
That's your written comments, right? As opposed to your
That's what I just
that's
said.
what you just talked to. Yeah.
My further submission.
That would be great. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks, Victoria. Good to see you.